All right, Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS who rule well. And also honor and salutations to those of you who are of the hopeful elect and are out there teaching the word in sincerity and truth. So today I wanted to talk about something that has been on my mind for the last few days. And I wasn't going to say anything about it. I didn't want to sound like I was complaining. And I wanted to make sure I did it in a way that didn't like I said, didn't sound like I was complaining, and that had some information to it, I guess. It's not gonna be that long, but I just want to make mention of this. When you go into history, and not only biblical history as far as our culture is concerned, but the history of man on this earth, you'll find that every culture and civilization was started by men, right? On the carnal level, of course, right? And you can go all the way back as far as Adam. Every town, every city, every state, every country, every nation, every culture was started by men. But you have this new thing in the world today where you constantly hear, since I was a child, I've constantly heard how strong the woman was, how you should honor the woman, and almost to a level of being above reproach. I'll try to tell a story without getting too personal, but I have women in my family that have stolen from me. You understand? I have women in my family that have stolen from my father, and watched him not even get upset, but pay for not the mistake. I'm not gonna say mistake, but pay for the carelessness of this person, right? And she was above reproach. Above reproach. He didn't say nothing bad about her, and this was like, without getting into any details, this was a bad situation, man. And my dad ended up having to come out of pocket $7,000. I think he's still paying to this day. And we're raised, especially Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. I don't know about the Northern Kingdom as far as this topic is concerned, but we're raised to think that the woman is above reproach, man. That she does no harm. But the scriptures say something completely different. The scriptures say something completely different, and says it in ways that is almost like a warning. Like, matter of fact, let me go to this scripture. Right? What is this? I haven't read this in a long time, matter of fact. This is Ecclesiastes 7:26. It says, "And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her." Now, this is a man, and I think he says it. Let me see real quick. Right, he says it. This is not something that he pulled out of his back pocket. This is King Solomon speaking about this, right? It's not something that he pulled out of his back pocket. This was something from years and years of experience being around him. This is a man who has 700 wives and 300 concubines. And through his experience said that, look, I find that these women are more bitter than death. Now listen to this next verse, right? It said, "Behold, this have I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. Lo, this only have I found, that the Most High hath made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions." Right. So, because most people say this, right? Well, what about the man? What about the man? That's most people's response when you start getting into the woman and her misbehavior. And I concede to this, what Solomon is saying here, right? Man is upright, but the reason why you can't tell is because we're trying to live the way Esau is living, and we've been conditioned to think that, our place in society is not important, that we're not, that a man is not valuable. But the scriptures speak otherwise, man. The scriptures teach us otherwise. And I've learned from my own experience, I've kind of lived my life in two ways. When I was a young man, I was the guy who, catered to what my wife was saying, who, a yes man, if you will. and I did it because I didn't want her to be mad at me. I didn't want the wrath of the woman to come down on me, right? And I lived that way, and it didn't work out for me very well, And then I later on in my adult life, when I became, an older man, when I became more mature, due to this truth, and I started to understand certain things, I lived my life in a way where now I am the head of the household, and I'm not passive. I have expectations, right? People think I'm an asshole, but my house is ran the way the scriptures tell us that our houses and our homes and our family should be run, And I'm not a tyrant. I don't, beat up on my girl or nothing like that. But I've seen with my own eyes that when the man is in order, the house is in order. I've seen it with my own eyes and my own experience. And I've looked at history. I've looked at the scriptures, and it's a fact that a man should run the household. The man should be the head. Okay. And I was thinking, I'll tell you, I'll get to, here I am rambling on again, but hopefully it's edifying. But I remember a story. Me and my father were talking at one time, and me and my dad, we're kindred spirits in that we philosophize everything, and we were talking, having a conversation, and he says, once we realize when we put the woman back on the pedestal that she belongs on, then that's when we'll rise as a nation. And I just got quiet because I didn't want to have the conversation anymore. And I always think of that, right? And I said, if you look around, right, if you pay attention to the world you live in, the woman is being put on a pedestal, right? Now that which brings me to why the thought behind this lesson. I was watching TVs, flipping through the channels, and I always go back to BET for some reason. And BET does this show called Black Girls Rock, right? And Queen Latifah is going to be the host this year of the show. And I'm watching this commercial, and you got they're showing all these, just like montage clips of different women, and they had one bald head woman with the crown on, and one was pregnant, and they just we got this image of black women, and they keep pushing it in our head, right? Now imagine if you had a channel on TV dedicated to just men, and it wasn't for women, and they called it him. BET has a channel called Her, and it's all about girls. If there was a channel like that, for men, they lose their mind. They will lose their mind, right? So, what I was thinking was they keep pushing this image, right? Why do they keep pushing this image of a strong black man, woman, right? And even in the movie Black Panther, right, where the hero was a man, they still made him, like, his sidekick was two women. You know what I mean? And like his mother played a big role, and it was like this. He's the hero, right? You see Superman, right? His mother stays on the farmhouse, and you really don't hear that much of. And even in that, Superman always goes back to his mother somehow. And if you remember the original Superman with Christopher Reeves, he lost his power at one time for who? For Lois, right? So we this image, not just and the black, especially in the black community, but not just in the black community, but in every, I'm saying the black community like I'm fucking, not only to so-called black people, but in all nations and cultures, we've been taught that the woman is the stronghold, but your instinct should tell you otherwise. So, I found this article, right, and I'm sure some of you have heard of Joseph Goebbels. He was the head propagandist for the Nazi Party, right, and he had a philosophy, and I wanted to show this quote that he had here. This is Joseph Goebbels. This is from what is this? The Jewish Virtual Library, right? I've pulled stuff out of here before. So I don't know if it's reputable. I don't know its reputation, but I've pulled things from here that I thought was solid. So I'd say reputable. But anyway, it says, if you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. The lie can be maintained only for such time as the state can shield the people from the political, economic, and or military consequences of the lie. It thus becomes vitally important for the state to use all of its powers to repress dissent. For the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus, by extension, the truth is the greatest enemy of the state. So just think about that, man. Like, here's a man who was a professional propagandist, someone who was in charge of the information that got out to the masses. It said, if you repeat a lie enough, it'll become true. And now you look, right? You look at our people, right? And what do they all the time? You got Polite, the black woman is God, and you look at the movie Soul Food, and Big Mama was the one at the head of the table saying, if we got to be like that fist. And in history, we've seen that the woman has been nothing but trouble. As a matter of fact, let me go here real quick. Where is that? What scripture was that? Here it is, right here. I want to read this whole, not the whole chapter, but from 16 on down. But I just want to read this first. It says, this is a Sirach 25 and 24. It says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. So she's never been someone to guide us into righteousness, to guide us into a good state of mind, the good laws and well-being for our people. She never has. She never has. Like you look at the civil rights movement in the 60s, and you have the Black Panthers and Black Stone Rangers, and you got all these different militant black things, and Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Nation of Islam, all these different, stand up for your rights type things. And which you'll notice, like, and every time like when I watch these like documentaries on that time period, you always see a red bone black girl with an afro up on stage up at the podium talking, right? And when these organizations started, right, especially the Black Panther Party, it was not solely men, but predominantly men running these organizations. And when they allowed that black woman to talk and to take charge and be in charge of something other, matter of fact, I forget. Damn, I wish I could remember the documentary. It's probably Black Panthers. I think I watched it on Netflix. You know, in the beginning, the black women were in charge of the food for the children, and, you know, like the daycare centers and all of this stuff that, you know, the party was trying to put together. But then they had this thing, well, why can't we carry the guns? We can carry guns too. And why can't we be up there talking? You know, they didn't feel like they were important unless they were doing the things that the men did. And what happened? That the Black Panther Party slowly but surely started to fizzle out, man. To fizzle out. You see? So let me read some of this, man. I'm doing a lot of talking. This is Ecclesiasticus 25:16. It says, I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. The wickedness of a woman changeth her face, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Now that reminded me, I want to show this video clip. Which one is it? All right, so check this out, right? I want to show you this. When it talks about the wickedness of a woman darkeneth her countenance, I want to show you this woman. All right, so this is a woman smashes bus window, hits man with car. This is something I saw a couple of days ago. Oh, this shit was yesterday. Was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday. But check this out. Check this out.
Shame, this is a federal crime.
Look at this bitch.
Kidding me? Is she kidding me? She's getting arrested. That's a federal crime.
Yeah, here she go. Here she go.
Kidding me?
Now look at her face. Look at this. Look at her face. She got demons on her, man. Look, she's smashing up the city bus. Look at her. Putting people's lives in danger. That's an end. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I couldn't have paused it that better if I tried. Look at this. Look at this woman, man. That is a demon. She done smashed up the city bus, right? But this ain't the worst of it, though. I want to show you something else. This ain't the worst of it. Look at her. Look at her. Do you think she's afraid of getting in trouble? She's not. This woman is not afraid of getting in trouble. Why? Because that message, that propaganda, that black woman is strong and powerful, this is what it translates into. Chaos. Right? Which reminds me. Matter of fact, it's right over here. Right? It says, this is 1 Corinthians 14:33. It says, for the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as saith the law. You see? Because when you let them do things, right, this is what happens. Chaos, right? Why can't I? Look, she got a little Audi, so she thinks she the shit with this little Audi. Look at her. Watch this. Look at this. Look at this shit. Look at Esau. He was acting his ass off.
What the f***? Oh no, y'all gotta help me.
Yo, leave him. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. What the f***? Yo. What are you doing, bro?
Look at Jake. She alright. Look at this nigga. Oh my god, that fucking Jake is incredible. He didn't see this fucking animal fucking wearing this bus up.
That's our man.
You gotta put your hands on it. Now look, this woman is putting people in danger, and the best thing he can say is she's all right. But this is the state. This is the condition of our people. You know, again, the black woman is above reproach, right? Look at this. Now look, now he's gonna try to reason with her, right? Now instead somebody should have knocked her out. Somebody should have tackled her to something to stop her. Not to try. You can't reason with somebody this irrational. Look at this dude though. Watch him. Watch him.
You guys doing?
Look at him. Look at him. Look at him over here. Look at him. Look at him.
Yo.
Look at him. Hold on, sister.
Yo.
Hold on. Wait, baby girl. Wait, baby girl.
Yo.
Hold on, baby. He's on your car. Wait, honey. Wait. Look at him trying to reason. Listen. Trying to reason with him. Look at her. She gonna move him out the way. Get your punk ass out the way. Calm down. Look at this fool. Calm down, baby girl. She's already past that, man. You got to hold her, tackle her down, hit her with a brick or no, let me not say that. Jake running around hitting women with bricks. But this is again, this is a man that's been conditioned by either his granny, his aunties, that this woman is above reproach. She didn't feel like she was doing nothing wrong. You couldn't have told her she was doing nothing wrong. Now you'll see. Matter of fact, there was another motherfucking clip. Let me show you this shit. I gotta get this. Here they are. Look at this. Look at this. Look at them. Two lesbians. Look at that. Giving it. I gotta show you this. I hope they show the clip.
Squeeze everything out of what this summer has to offer you at the Hyundai Labor Day sales event, featuring
Bear
the
with me
very
for a
last of
second,
the
yeah.
summer savings.
Come on, little baby.
Shit. Look at this. Come on, little baby. Oh, they got the babies blurred, but these are babies, and they giving the babies weed.
For allegedly letting 3 small children smoke marijuana. 21-year-old Michaela Pearson.
Look at this animal. Look, that's an animal. That's an animal.
And 18-year-old Candace Little of North Carolina posted video of
Look at
the
this.
act to Snapchat, according to authorities. Cops say they were babysitting the children, aged 18 months, 2 years, and 3 years at the time.
Ooh,
Look at
yeah, big ass.
Yo,
Big ass.
Winston-Salem police say they received complaints about the video, which allegedly shows the women holding the marijuana to the children's lips and even telling them how to smoke it on their own.
Pass it to your sister. Stop teething. Give it to your sister.
The women are charged with 3 counts each of felony child abuse and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Their bail was set at $100,000 each. Authorities say the children are under observation after being taken to a local hospital.
Look at this mess.
InsideEdition.com. I'm Mara Matubano.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. You see, and this is what happens when you. This is why they should be under the authority of a man. You see. Now again, our men aren't any better, right? This is why we need the Lord Yahweh Shai to come and save us out of here. But this is the madness that happens, man. So let me go back over here. It says the wickedness, verse 17, of a woman changeth her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Again, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. So you see, they should be in this that's order. It's not about being in control over her and not letting her do anything, and it's about her function in the family, and she has to understand that her role in your family is important. Don't try to do what I'm doing. Your role is important to our family, right? So it says, this verse 26, it says, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. You see? So let me see, did I have any other scriptures? I didn't realize I hadn't been going that long. Right, let me go to these really quick. Oops. It's Ezekiel 34 and 31. It says, "In ye, the flock, in ye my flock, the flock of my pasture are men, and I am your power, saith the Lord power." You see? So this is how you keep a nation in order. You allow the men to be led by the Lord Yahweh Shai, and you allow the women to be ruled by the men. And that's the order of things, and that's how things stay the way they should stay. Okay? We don't need any more propaganda to say that women are strong, because their strength translates into things like this. I wanted to show those clips, but it's alright. I've been going too long. So yeah, this is what black power for the woman translates into. These animals here.
Just move from all the
And
time
this
so you don't get
monkey.
hurt. Yo.
Watch out. You watch out. Don't move.
Look at Esau though. Look. Esau is crazy.
Yo.
Run your ass over, boy. So he didn't know who he was dealing with. But anyway, that's it, man. Like I said, I didn't really want to get into it this much, but that's what men of the Lord are supposed to do: report what goes on in our nation. So with that, I hope that was edifying, man. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS who rule well, and also honor and salutations to those of you who are of the hopeful elect. And with that, I say shalom.